have a general question about selling restaurant in California. Does that require the buyer to get health permit before closing? Because when I see the ESP contract, there is a contingency set. Like, does buyer need to get which license? You can put that on. Usually I put business license and the health permit, but does that required or it's preferred the buyer to get it before closing?
I think that the health permit I would definitely want to get. So I don't know, to be honest with you, if it's been a while since I sold a restaurant in California. I do know, the seller permits can be, and the regular business licenses, you can get those online on the spot. So, you just go to the website and type in the information and it gives it to you right then and there. But the health permit, they're going to do an inspection and all of that. So I'm not sure what that process is. Diane, have you sold a restaurant recently? Do you know what that is?
Yes, I know how it works. When you sell the restaurant, like Tanya just said, you are going online and apply for the health permit. They are going to give you an appointment for the new buyer before we close in the escrow. They will to the restaurant, they check, and if everything looks fine, they will issue the health permit. However, let's say if they give the buyer the appointment after, then the seller, the health permit is still good until the next appointment. Basically, you will not have any issue or problem with the health permit because the current seller, he has the health permit already. It's working. So the new buyer just continue to do it. Unless if something happened, they're going to ask you to fix it. And after that, they come back and they give you the license. I don't have any issue with the health permit. Only the appointment, sometimes they give 3 weeks from the date we request. It depends on the city, how busy people are.
Okay, so you can still close escrow even though the
Yes.
health permit hasn't been issued to the new buyer yet.
Yeah.
And the buyer can operate the business or continue operating the restaurant under the seller's health permit until that appointment time,
Yes.
until the health inspector comes back.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. All right. So yeah, so that's different from liquor license, where liquor license so if the restaurant has a bar and there's a liquor license, you cannot close. The closing is actually the transfer of the liquor license. So you cannot close escrow until the liquor license is ready to transfer.
Tonya, I would like to add on for about the ABC license. They're going to issue a temporary license to the buyer. However, sometimes the buyer have the SBA loan, and the SBA loan do not release the fund unless the permanent license issue. Therefore, between the seller and the buyer, if the seller accept the buyer temporary license and accept the money not transfer, he would say yes, but in my situation right now, the buyer have the temporary license, but the seller say no. He doesn't want to let the buyer operate. He wants to make sure the loan, the SBA release the fund to the seller. So it depends. If the buyer pay on cash, no problem. The seller gonna let the buyer operate with the temporary
license.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you. Yeah, that's good to know.
Thank you. But if the health code change, so the buyer need to do the repair to comply the new code, or the seller's responsibility to comply the new code?
In my deal, the buyer, when they offer, they ask the seller. It's negotiable between the buyer and the seller.
Okay. And also this is a contingency? if they can get the health permit?
I did not see any of my client was denied because of the health permit. No, it's not the contingency. Only the landlord is the contingency, the lease, but not the health permit.
Okay, so so if not contingency, usually it will be buyer's responsibility to complete new code, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Well, I did not see the health department deny. They just ask the buyer to fix the problem. For example, if it's too dirty or something not working, if the buyer fix it, and then they're gonna issue the license.
Yeah, but sometimes, if they need to change the grease trap for a bigger, larger grease trap or something, they have a cost.
That's true. So that will between the buyer and the seller negotiation.
Okay. But the buyer cannot back out.
If the buyer put it in the contingency, so the answer yes, because he did put it in the contingency, right?
But I think that's also part of the buyer's due diligence, right? So if the buyer during their due diligence finds out that a grease trap needs to be replaced or expanded or whatever, and they bring a contractor in to get an estimate of costs and find out that it's going to cost more than they want to spend, then that's part of their due diligence. As long as they haven't signed off on due diligence, they still have the ability to walk away. Or like Diane said, they can try and negotiate, hey, look, it's going to cost me X amount according to this contractor to replace this grease strap. And so, I'll pay half and you pay half, or I want you to pay for it or whatever. And that can be negotiated during due diligence. That's all part of due diligence.